But today, I'm even more excited to talk about what you can do for others. That's what Pluralsight One is all about. Together, we can make a difference because together we're one. I want you to just think for a minute about the problem that we've been talking about, this massive global tech skills gap and the opportunity gap that creates it. Do you believe that we can close that gap in our lifetimes? Is it possible? What do you think? Yes. Yes, it is possible, and yes, we will. And I want to show you how. So watch this video. We know that talent exists everywhere, across the globe. Opportunity is not as pervasive. The more people who have access to technology skills, the more freedom, equality, and opportunity we will see in the world. Pluralsight One is our commitment to driving lasting, significant social impact by equipping people in underserved and marginalized communities and working with our nonprofit partners to bring the technology skills they need to help create better lives and a better future for us all.
The greatest challenges in my community is poverty and unemployment. My dream is to create virtual reality platform that can help the youth to decide what you do in the future.
What excites me about education is to get the students open their minds to the newest technology. It's very important to be updated on what technology is coming up. To get better at this job, my only way is learning through online courses.
My dream is to end extreme poverty in rural Africa. With technology, our farmers or entrepreneurs can do mobile banking, they can get information, they can access the new trends of doing farming.
If there is a big global health problem in the world, PATH is trying to solve it. Whether that's the eradication of malaria, whether it's the Zika virus, Ebola. Our programs touch the lives of about 150 million people a year worldwide. We're a nonprofit. We don't have lots to spend on classes. Resources that are online help us push ourselves forward.
I think democratizing technology is important because it can help us to change the way the world sees us.
We need to ensure that we give the right knowledge to the students. It's my obligation to make the students a lifelong learner.
You never know what technology or what skills you're going to need that saves a life, or 10,000 lives, or 50,000 lives.
Through technology, women are going to be empowered. A woman is like an engine in the society. When you empower a woman with technology, you are empowering the society.
We believe that Pluralsight One can be the spark in unlocking human potential all over the world to help create a better future for all of us. What do you think? They are the real heroes, the people on the ground making a real difference. I love that line. When you empower a woman with technology, you're empowering a society. So incredible. There's so much happening, and we need to empower them. The heroes making a real difference. How do we elevate their work and magnify their efforts? You know, in the end, it's the people they're serving that are the real solution to the global opportunity gap and skills gap that we've been talking about. But these people face even more pressing issues than attending their coding class. You know, these people have real challenges in their way, like access to food, water, shelter, access to quality and consistent education, access to medical care, and the list goes on. And on the education point specifically, in almost half of the countries around the world, Less than 1 in 2 youth complete secondary education. 1 in 2. It's incredible and sad. South Asia and Africa will supply nearly 60% of the global workforce by 2030. And if the trends we're seeing continue, at least 1 billion people in that workforce will have not completed secondary education. 1 billion. Yet the global poverty rate could be reduced by more than half if all adults had completed secondary education. The opportunity is clear and it's massive. And there's a big problem with gender equality around technology and access to the internet. Today, there are over 250 million fewer women online than men, and that gap is widening. Internet access remains highly concentrated in the developed world. 53% of the world's population, about 3.9 billion people, are not connected today. And in Africa's poorer populations and the more fragile countries of that region, only 1 in 10 people are connected. This global tech skills gap is exacerbated in these underserved areas and communities, which is what's perpetuating the inequalities and stunting our progress. The approach to developing tech skills must change. We have to use technology to accelerate it. We have to use a tech-driven approach to change the way we bring people access to technology. And what's broken today is formal education. It simply isn't designed for the pace of technology change that we're currently experiencing. And there are even barriers in the informal education sector and in the industries where we all operate. And these barriers also perpetuate those inequalities and promote a lack of diversity and inclusion in our organizations and in our communities. It's a matter of access, not capability. We know there are brilliant people everywhere. They just don't have access to the opportunity. And as a society, we're not prioritizing technology enough. We're not prioritizing technology skill development and education, and especially with really important things like computer science and coding. It's not viewed as a basic skill like reading, writing, and math. We're not starting early enough, which is why we're not providing equal access. Only 40% of US schools today offer computer science classes. Only 40%. And there's been a lot happening around STEM, which we love and we promote and we support, yet only 8% of STEM graduates actually study computer science. Something's wrong with that. And the numbers are dramatically lower in other regions. Yet, skills like coding are the skills in highest demand in today's workforce and in our overall economy. Pluralsight is here to help with that. We are committed to closing that tech skills gap over time. And we're going to do it by addressing the situation at root cause. But we can't do it alone. We need your help. And we need the help of these nonprofits and these educators all over the world to really make a difference. We talk about our mission a lot. It's to democratize technology skills, to make it available anywhere in the world to anyone with desire and passion. And we know we can't solve that problem. We can't achieve that mission with our commercial business alone. We love our commercial business, and most of you are participating in our commercial business, but that's not the full solution, and we know that. We need a holistic solution, and that's why we created Pluralsight One. Pluralsight One, combined with our commercial business, provides the full solution. It takes both of those pieces working together to really solve the opportunity gap and over time close that technology skills gap. Making real progress on this requires a thoughtful, systems-based approach. It requires empowering those organizations that you saw in the videos around the world who are experts at addressing the complex needs of the vulnerable communities they support. So solving this through partnerships with groups like them is the answer. So with Pluralsight One, as we announced last year, we are committed to partner with nonprofits and educators. Today, there are over 10 million nonprofits in the world who are doing incredible work. Can we just take a minute to acknowledge them? Give them a hand. Many of them are here today. Many are here at Live, and we love you. We love what you're doing for the world. It's incredible. You're serving millions of people and making a difference. And it's technology that holds the superpower to really unlocking the potential and the possibilities. It's a success imperative to enable a global opportunity to empower these nonprofits to better serve their communities and achieve their missions. We also know that education unlocks opportunity for young people and their entire lives. And it's tech skills development, things like coding in the classroom, that becomes an instrumental part of that solution. And yet tech education today isn't equally accessible, like we've mentioned, in many parts of the world. Since launching Pluralsight One, we've been hard at work on this problem. We want to figure it out. We want to figure out how to have the most impact that we can possibly have. So we've been doing discovery work, just like we do with our product. You've heard our product team talking about how they spend so much time in interviews with our customers. We call it directed discovery, to really understand, what their needs are and how to best serve them, how they experience value and progress. So we've been doing discovery work through a global needs assessment with countless nonprofits and schools around the world to understand how we can best serve them. We've gathered input from thousands of groups and individuals. We've done a deep pilot program with over 40 organizations across 16 countries. We even sent Lindsay Knuven, our head of Pluralsight One. Will you stand? Give her a hand, please. Thank you. An incredible leader driving so much progress behind everything I'm showing you today. We even sent Lindsay over to the Middle East to visit the Syrian refugee camps this year as part of this discovery process, to really understand how we could serve the youth who are trapped with all these constraints. We made Pluralsight available to over 300 youth in these refugee camps and have been tracking their progress ever since. And I can tell you it's making a difference. What have we learned? We've learned there's a clear opportunity to elevate the capabilities of our nonprofits by helping them build tech skills within their organizations. The people on the teams at the nonprofits, they need tech skills too to amplify their solutions. And then we know that we can amplify and magnify the work they're doing for their beneficiaries through technology-driven solutions. And we see a connection there very clearly. And finally, we know that we can help educators with their own tech skill development so we can have more computer science teachers in the world. We can give them skill development and we can give them content that prepares them to teach their students the skills that will enable future economic opportunity. Technology is what enables all of that. It enables access and affordability for this audience I'm talking about. And tech, I believe, is the only way to solve this problem at scale. We've already enabled access to the Pluralsight Technology Index, to Skill IQ, and to Role IQ, and we've made them completely free for individuals all over the world to improve equality and accessibility through those key features. So credentials that once cost tens of thousands of dollars can now be had for free. Yes. These features level the playing field when it comes to measuring proficiency and capability. Last year, if you recall, we introduced you to Akin from Nigeria, who was one of our first beta users of Skill IQ, who was able to demonstrate expert-level proficiency in JavaScript, comparable to the same developers in the Bay Area. Think about the opportunity that created for Akin. Today, we're going one step further with this Pluralsight One foundation. Today, I'm thrilled to announce 2 new product offerings that will serve nonprofits and educators all over the world. They're called Elevate and Amplify. These new product offerings will increase access and continue to level the playing field around the world. The first product offering, Elevate, enables capacity building within the nonprofit. So giving the team members of the nonprofit access to these tech skills. We're making Pluralsight available to all of them. The second product offering, called Amplify, is for nonprofit professionals and the beneficiaries they serve. So our nonprofits will be able to use the Pluralsight platform to give technology skills to their communities. Both of these new product offerings are highly discounted to enable more access for these underserved populations all over the world. And we're designing it in a way to provide long-lasting sustainability to Pluralsight One so we can continue to make a difference for years and years and decades to come. I'm also today excited to announce that we've designed some specific partnerships for educators around the world. And they each come with their own unique product offering on top of what I've already mentioned. The 3 I want to announce as part of our Pluralsight One product launch are the following. The first is with the Computer Science Teachers Association. Yes. I haven't even told you what it is yet. So we're giving the Computer Science Teachers Association free access to a set of Pluralsight courses that will empower teachers to become enabled to teach computer science in our schools. Yes. And we're also giving them the possibility to have access to the full Pluralsight experience if they choose at a highly discounted rate. This partnership will empower a whole new generation of computer science teachers in our schools, and I'm super proud of that. The second partnership is with NetHope's No Loss Generation Task Force. This is the group that we worked with in the Middle East with the refugee camps. NLG enables even greater access to our platforms for all members of this task force. This is a cross-industry, cross-functional group working on a really complex problem. So through this partnership, we're going to be able to reach and touch 4.2 million children in Syria and over 500,000 children in Iraq. And really excited about what that's going to do for them. Yeah. We're one of only 4 large tech companies that have been chosen to be part of that. And finally, I'm really excited to announce a new partnership this year with Code.org. Yes. There are 2 ways we're partnering with Code.org. First, we've curated a set of courses that aligns with Code.org's AP Computer Science exam. We're making those courses freely available to all Code.org teachers, and those teachers can use that same set of curriculum with their students. We're also giving students who finish and complete the AP Computer Science course free access to Pluralsight. This is important and valuable because it now gives these students in underrepresented situations a bridge into the professional workforce. Right where code.org ends is where Pluralsight begins. They hand the baton to us, and we start giving these students professional skills that will take them into their first tech-related job, unlocking a lifetime of opportunity and success. But even with all of that, those 3 partnerships I just mentioned, we still won't reach everyone. We know we have to do more. So how are we enabling access to the kids around the world who can't be reached by one of those groups that we just talked about? Last year when we launched Pluralsight One, we told you that when we saw good ideas, nonprofits that were really making a difference in the world, that we would back them financially. We would put our money where our commitment is. And that's why this year I'm proud to announce our first Pluralsight One Fund grant to code.org for $1.5 million over the next 3 years. We see that the work they're doing is really making a difference. It's having impact. We want to make the code.org platform accessible across the world, in more countries and more languages. We want to enable offline access so kids who live in countries that don't have internet can still have the code.org experience. And we want to see them expand globally and with global partnerships. So this grant will help with all of that. And our partnership with them is specifically intended to do a couple really, really important things. To enable greater access for girls and underrepresented minorities. And so we have clear metrics to hold ourselves accountable to that. So let's talk more about this. I'm excited once again this year to have a good friend of mine and a change maker in the world who's made a real difference with code.org, the CEO and co-founder, Hadi Partovi. Please welcome him to the stage. Hadi? Good to see you, man. Thanks so much. Thanks for being here. So Hadi, so good to have you here, and congrats on all the success. But for those in the audience who aren't familiar with code.org, just give us the high level. What is it and what inspired it?
Sure, thank you. The mission of code.org is to make sure that every student in every school has the opportunity to learn computer science. And that doesn't mean that every student needs to become a coder. There's 7 billion people in the world. We're not going to have 7 billion people become coders. But in a world that is being completely changed by technology, everybody's going to need to learn the same foundational understanding of how technology works. As we all learned biology growing up, we all learn a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of algebra. These are things that basically help us learn about how the world works. And in the 21st century, it's just as important that students learn a little bit of computer science through starting in elementary school all the way through high school. We're helping change the education system globally to make computer science part of the curriculum.
Well, and that you are. Like, it's happening. It's making a difference. I'm seeing it everywhere. And, it's made a big difference for us here in Utah and across all the cities where we operate. And just this last week, you announced some really exciting progress, some record-breaking numbers. Do you want to share those with everyone?
Sure, yeah. Our work starts in elementary school and goes all the way through high school. We have almost 30 million students on code.org, which is amazing in terms of the growth we've had in the last 5 years. But the pinnacle of achievement on code.org is the AP Computer Science exam, where you said we hand off the students. And when code.org started its work, the AP Computer Science exam was one of the smallest AP courses in the country, barely offered. Only 5% of schools even offered it. And most importantly, women and underrepresented minorities were minuscule. In the entire country, only 6,000 students were girls or underrepresented minorities in AP Computer Science. In just 5 years, we took it from 6,000 to 60,000.
Wow.
So that's 10x growth.
10x.
So we've made AP Computer Science the fastest growing course in the College Board AP curriculum, and within the fastest growing course, the fastest growing groups are African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, and women. So
that's awesome. Specifically with students of color, what have you seen in the progress there? Is it similar to the progress with girls?
Yeah, with students of color or with girls, they're the fastest growing group. And in fact, African Americans are, within all the students of color, the fastest growing group. They had a 44% increase of students just in the last 12 months in terms of students taking AP Computer Science.
It's awesome.
It's fantastic news for the country.
So good. Give them a hand one more time. I mean, it's real progress.
Thank you.
So we're really excited about this partnership. You know, we've been working on it for a while. And can you just tell the audience a little bit about like why this partnership is important to you and Code.org?
Absolutely. You know, the work of Code.org, all the things you just applauded us for, isn't really our work. It's the work of almost 900,000 teachers that are helping teach computer science in classrooms using our curriculum. And we do all we can to support those teachers, but at the end of the day, those teachers want to continue their learning, and we're not going to go as far as they'll be able to. And also for the students that they reach, Code.org's courses teach foundational computer science. We don't get very vocational. We're not going to lead a student all the way to their first job. And it turns out in our AP class, 70% of the students want to continue studying after high school graduation, and we're not involved there. So what this partnership does is it helps both our teachers continue their learning for free, and more importantly, it helps those 60,000 girls and underrepresented minorities get free access to continue their studies, and many of them want to do that. So it's fantastic to give them access to the Pluralsight platform free of charge, targeting effectively the groups that need it the most.
Awesome. And we're super happy to be part of it and proud of the work you've done with it. So this $1.5 million grant, you know, we're really hoping it has even more impact, you know, on these numbers we've been talking about. What do you see being created from this over the next several years?
There's a number of things. First of all, it'll continue our work in America in terms of bringing computer science to more schools, training more teachers who can then expand access to computer science, especially in schools and populations that need it the most. But as we look to global expansion, Code.org isn't available in every language in every country, and in many countries, they don't have internet-connected computers to access our platform. There's lots of schools with older computers, and we want to build an offline version of our core curriculum to enable those countries to do this. And the movement for adding computer science to curriculum is really at a tipping point right now. Many, many countries want to roll this out nationwide, and they're looking for the right technology solution to do that, and we're hoping to build that thanks to Pluralsight's support.
Right. And offline specifically, because Code.org is a completely online experience.
Correct.
Like you have to be connected to the internet. So in parts of the world where people don't have access, how would that actually work? Do they install it like on a local server in a room, or how would that operate?
Or on a thumb drive that you put on your computer. Yeah, I mean, a bunch of things won't work. You won't be able to get a teacher dashboard showing and like logging your progress that you can access from your phone.
Yeah.
Like, it's not online. But the basics of learning the concepts will work.
So as simple as like having a thumb drive, you plug it into a computer, and now they've got a way to learn to code.
Exactly.
Yeah, awesome. So you've lived your life in two different worlds. You know, you've been in the world of tech. You've also lived in this world of the nonprofits. Can you talk a little bit about why, you know, nonprofits need tech?
Absolutely.
It's really the convergence of your worlds.
Yeah, it's funny. I started doing what I'm doing out of just a passion for making change, and I actually wasn't sure whether I would do this myself. At first I thought, you know, I can hire a team to run Code.org, and then I realized most nonprofits don't use tech the way tech companies do, and I thought we could build a different type of nonprofit that is a tech company like Pluralsight, like any of the tech startups that we all in the tech world admire, to show that a tech-enabled nonprofit can have outsized impact, can have global impact. And we've now shown that Code.org is among the fastest growing nonprofits in history, and that's entirely because of the way we've used technology to spread globally. It's also thanks to all the teachers that support us and everybody who agrees in our mission. But because we have technologists and a strong team, we've managed to amplify our own ideas. And I think that's something that every nonprofit can benefit from. So many nonprofits have the ideas, but not the skills to use technology and harness technology for their growth. And I think that's something that they can benefit from. And I hope that through the new announcements you made, especially the Elevate program, that's something that more and more nonprofits can benefit from to basically grow their own tech skills.
Yeah, I know it will. It's going to make a difference. So, how can members of the audience here help more nonprofits? Like, how can they get more involved in this whole thing we're talking about? And also, how can they get more involved in code.org and some of the things you have coming up?
Well, if you want to help generic nonprofits, I would start local and find a nonprofit that needs technology assistance. There's very few nonprofits that wouldn't accept help with technology. If you want to help with code.org, there's many different ways people can help, whether it's as little as buying a hat or making a donation, volunteering in a classroom, or helping on the advocacy side, hosting an Hour of Code event. And if you visit code.org, there's a button called Help Us that basically lists all the different options. The smallest way you can help is following us on Facebook and liking our posts. But all the different ways you can help us are listed on the code.org page. And we'd love everybody here to support us.
Awesome. And when's the next Hour of Code?
The next Hour of Code is during Computer Science Education Week, December 3rd through 7th. We haven't shared what the theme is going to be this year, but we've had different themes over the past few years. 1 year was with Star Wars, 1 year with Minecraft. This year, what we're doing is, I believe, our biggest and best idea yet. It's literally almost as good as an idea as the original Hour of Code and the entire campaign. The Hour of Code started 5 years ago. We've now reached 600 million hours of code done, which is easily the largest grassroots education campaign in world history. I think we're going to get about 200 million just in 1 week based on the strength of this idea.
That's incredible. And we have a lot of teachers here today too from across the state. What advice would you give them if they want to get involved and become a computer science teacher?
The first thing I'd say is that teachers are doing what I believe is the most important job in the country and in the world. And thank you.
Yes.
I really don't feel our country doesn't recognize teachers enough. Teachers are building our future. Everything we do in the next 100 years are going to be done by the children that are in your classrooms. And if you're a teacher in a school that doesn't offer computer science, you have it in your power to change that. And if you visit code.org, we offer not just free curriculum, we offer free PD workshops, professional development workshops that can very quickly help a teacher who doesn't know computer science. Even if you never learned it yourself and you're scared of it, you don't need to become a coder. We don't have surgeons teaching biology in high school. We have teachers doing that. And code.org has helped 80,000 math teachers, English teachers, third grade teachers become computer science teachers. And we'd love for all of the teachers in the room to consider joining our programs and to going through those workshops as well.
Awesome. Anyone can do it.
Anybody can do it.
Anyone can do it. Hadi, on that note, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for who you are, for your commitment to this great cause, and for making such a big difference.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate you. All right. Thanks, bud. So good. We're thrilled to provide this kind of access that's really going to make a difference. It'll make measurable progress towards our mission to democratize technology skills. Because now we're going to be empowering the nonprofit professionals and these educators, the teachers, to upskill using the Pluralsight platform. We're on a mission, and these product offerings are a giant leap forward. But it's just one of many, many steps along the journey. I want you to just think for a minute. Imagine, what if everyone, everywhere, had the opportunity to develop technology skills? Imagine if every nonprofit in the world was empowered to amplify their cause and have bigger impact. Imagine solving this global skills gap and what it would unlock for the world. Nada from Athar, the girl from the video, can build that VR application to help youth decide what they want to do in the future. And Rathish from the video would be able to teach all the students in his region who were recently disrupted by the bad flooding all the latest programming languages. And that's where the magic happens. That's the future. We know we can't do this alone. Pluralsight by itself has a relatively small reach. But together, we can reach everyone, because together we're one. Pluralsight One was inspired by the power in one individual, the power in one community united for change, the power in one vision to democratize access to technology. And united by that vision, we know that we can make a real difference, and we know that we are one. We invite you to join us in this great cause. There are so many ways that you can get involved. Simply take this message back and share it with your nonprofit partners in your local communities and let them know about what Pluralsight's willing to do to help. Look for ways that we can partner with your social impact teams back at work. And visit pluralsightone.org. We just launched a new website today where you can keep track of what we're up to and follow our progress. And I want you to know that as a Pluralsight customer, you're already part of this. You're already making a difference because we've committed to pledge 1%. So through our partnerships in our commercial business, we're already creating more freedom, equality, and opportunity every day. And you can be proud of that. Yesterday, we told you how we can be your strategic partner, and now we need you to be ours in solving this global skills gap and further lifting the human condition. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening.